I'm using my brights palette again. I'm going to go into the black. Welcome to Makeup Without Limitations, where you'll be uplifted and you will learn something today. Thank you for stopping by. I am doing a one color eyeshadow look and I'm using the black shade. Always remember you're first. Love yourself plenty. Hello, welcome. My name is V if you're new to this channel. Thank you for stopping by. I am happy you took the time to click on my video. I want to say thank you to all my returning subscribers. I appreciate you coming by day after day watching my videos. I want to say thank you very much. Life is very interesting. In the last video, I mentioned that for many, many years, I remember dreaming about a little girl, an abandoned little girl. That little girl had 2 plaits in her hair, crossed in the middle, 1 plait, 1 plait. And I dreamt that dream, when I tell you years, to the point one day, I said, something is wrong. Maybe I was abandoned. Maybe I'm adopted. That's what I'm telling myself, because that dream came often and I just could not understand why. To the point I started thinking, okay, something is wrong. I might not be my mother's child. I maybe was adopted and they never told me. So I need to find out what's going on. Why am I abandoned in this dream? Why am I standing there crying? So one day I asked my mom before she passed, long time before she passed. I said, Mom, was I abandoned? She looked at me like, what are you talking about, child? That kind of look. I say, am I adopted? She's like, stop talking nonsense. And she didn't say it in English. She said it in Patois. She like, Uka pale sot. That means I'm talking nonsense. Then she said, Saki kawivu. That means what is happening to me? I tell her I've been dreaming for many, many years that I have been abandoned. And I described to her, I say, I have this little flower dress on. And the little underwears they used to make for kids back in the day with the lace sewn in the back. That on, clear as daylight, the colors, everything vivid right in my face. I explained the whole thing to her. She said, no, you're not abandoned. You were never abandoned. And you're not adopted. So stop talking nonsense. So I believed her. She was my mom, right? I need to take this one higher up. You see how this one has more space here and this one has less? So I need to take this one up. I'm not adding anything else. I'm just going to work with the brush, what's already on there. So it can stay lighter where I need it to and darker in the lower areas. So back to the story. My mom told me that and I was like, okay, I believe you. I agree, because I remember myself as a small child, there. So dream never stop. I dream it at least once a month. That dream would come to me. And like I told you, I've done a lot of self-work on myself, I've gone to yoga classes, Pilates classes, feng shui classes. I've done a lot. I've also done, the bells where you go to the class and all it is just the little bells, ding, ding. I've done sound class. I have done that. I mean, I've really worked on myself to get to the point where I am right now. So I was never there all the time. But I did a lot of work. I went to a lot of seminars like Les Brown and Zig Ziglar and, all these other big people back in the day that used to be out and about back in the 90s doing speeches and talks. I've met Candy Staten. I've met Oprah twice. I mean, I did a lot of work. Let's just put it that way because I wanted to make sure my life will be a good one. Because after being homeless, and all of this craziness, you just want to be on the right path. So she told me that and I believed her. So one day I was doing a online. Back then they didn't have Zoom. You call and you're on the phone, on speakerphone, and it's a bunch of people collectively, a bunch of people, and we meet and we do deep meditations. And in the middle of my deep meditation, that dream now is coming to me in a meditation state. And that little child, I have never seen her face, never. All the dream, the little child is always facing away from me. I can only see the child's back. I've never seen the face. That's why I kept thinking it's me, because it looked like I was at least between 3 and 5 in the dream. That's what the child looks like, between 3 and 5. So I've never seen the child face. So in this deep collective meditation meet we're doing, all of a sudden that child came up again, and I'm like, oh my God, here is the dream, but I'm not dreaming. I'm in a deep meditation. And lo and behold, that child turned around and looked at me. And in meditation, I just started weeping, crying. While still in meditation form, I can, like I said, it's a collective group. We're all on speakerphone. And I'm crying and tears are running down my face, but I'm still in the meditative form. And that little child is looking at me like this. And I was so shocked to see who this child is. Oh my God. Let me put this look together. I'm putting this look together and you will hear who this child is. Or you can see was. And lo and behold, when that child turned around in my meditative state, it was my mom looking at me as a child between 3 and 4 years old, looking back at me. I had never ever seen the child's face before. I've been dreaming that dream since I was 16. I was in my late 40s when I was in the meditation group when that child turned around and looked at me, and it was my mom. I was shocked because all these years, I have been thinking it was me. When I talked to my mom about it, I think I was in my late 30s. And she told me, oh, and she told me, you're talking nonsense. You were not adopted. You were not abandoned. You are my child. And like I said, I thought about it, but I kept having those dreams and never said anything about it. The only person other than you, my community, I'm telling that to is one of my sisters. I told that to a while back. So here was my mom in this meditative state looking back at me. And I wept. And the group actually heard me crying and asked if I was okay. And I said, yes, I'm okay. And I cried and cried and cried until I felt good in my soul. And I understand the dream then. Because my mom had a tough tough passage, tough time. It was just tough. She was born in Guadeloupe, and as a kid was, taken to Dominica to her mom, where her mom was taking care of her mom, which was her grandmother. It was a really, really tough, tough, tough time. So when I saw that, I was like, my mom maybe felt abandoned and neglected for a very, very long time. And it broke my heart. That's why I cried so much. I cried a lot. And when I felt good, I didn't tell her about the dream. I didn't tell her the reveal. I just kept it to myself. But I think she knew that I knew about it, because I always used to ask her about her life. So I think that's why that dream kept coming and coming and coming, because I never knew my grandmother, which was her mom. Only knew my great grandmother. So I know my mom had a very tough, tough time, but she made things work. My mom was a person who worked really, really hard, make sure we never needed anything that we did not need. I mean, like I tell you, my mom back in the 70s had a lawyer. She had a lawyer. Never heard of that before, but that's how determined. My mom was determined to make things work. And I appreciated everything. So on her deathbed, I talked to her. I let her know that she did everything that she could possibly done for us. And it was okay to go because we are old enough and we can manage. I did. I had lots of conversations with her. She talked back to me. We talked back and forth. But that last conversation I had with her, she didn't talk back to me. She just cried. Because she knew what I was saying was true. She have had a tough time. She have worked hard. She have lived a good life and make sure we all 6 children had a good life. I think she knew then all was well. And she didn't utter a word, but she cried and she held my hand and she squeezed it. That was her approval of saying, you are right. And all is well. So I'm telling you these stories, not just so you just know them, so you take a few minutes and identify within you what it is that you need from this story. Always remember you first. Never, ever, ever, ever give up on yourself. And my lip combo for today is Juvia's Place Cultured. It's a red. And my Bordeaux lip liner. That is my lip combo. And my eyes is the black from the Brights palette by Ellie Colors. Affordable drugstore makeup. I want to say thank you for watching. Please remember to hype this video. Watch the video all the way to the end. I have lots of playlists. You can check and run a playlist. There is always a video link in the description. You can go there and click it and play it. Every little bit helps my channel. I love you dearly. Always know that you're welcome here on this channel. And I hope you learned something today. See you shortly. Bye.